listening to WUSM Hattiesburg. It's time for Southern Miss Today. Southern Miss Today is WUSM's news and public affairs program. Southern Miss Today airs Monday through Thursday at noon. Southern Miss Today is sponsored by Mr. Sippy Beverages. And now to start the show, Southern Miss Student Media News.
You're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. You're here with Madison Warren, and I'm here to give you all the news surrounding Hattiesburg and the world, so let's dive in. USM has talent. Talent show is this Friday night at 7 p.m. in Bennett Auditorium. The Student Media Center's very own Kyra Lampley will be performing among others, so please come out and support them. The Pride of Southern Mississippi Band will be having one more concert band this week. The concert will be Thursday night at 7:30 in the Mononi Performing Arts Center. On Thursday, October 27th, the Southern Miss Golden Eagles football team takes on the University of Louisiana at Lafayette's Raging Cajuns in a nationally televised matchup with increased visitors, media, and parking demands throughout the day. Maintaining normal class schedules and operations is not possible, so all classes will be canceled and will not meet in person or online. Game day personnel should report to work as normal. All other offices and operations will be closed for the entire day at the University of Southern Mississippi locations in Hattiesburg and on the Gulf Coast. The BSU will be offering a free lunch tomorrow at 12 with a guest speaker. The BSU meets every Tuesday night for Bible study. This week is Pride Week in the Pine Belt. There are still events that anyone can take part in the rest of the week. Tonight will be Queerokie at Sopro Brewery at 7 p.m. Thursday is Pepper's Pride Party at Pepper's Parties 2 at 7 p.m. Friday is the Queer Comedy Show at the Thirsty Hippo at 7 p.m. Saturday is the Pride in the Park March in Town Square at 10 a.m. with a Pride After Party at Collodium Brewery at 8 p.m. and Sunday is a drag brunch at Collodium Brewery at 11 a.m. This Friday will be another great Live at 5 downtown. Stephen Wade Scott and the Low Spirits will be performing. The countdown is underway for the start of the Mississippi State Fair. The fair kicks off at 11 a.m. Thursday with a ribbon-cutting ceremony at Gate 1. Fairgoers can continue to expect the best of carnival rides and games, fair food, livestock shows, and a circus. There will be more than 85 food vendors at the State Fair selling things like chicken on a stick, fried Oreos, and taffy. However, fairgoers may see an increase in food prices this year because of inflation. 5 people were shot after a high school homecoming celebration in Marks, Mississippi this weekend. Even more people were injured in a stampede that broke out near First Street and MLK in the wee hours of Saturday, October 1st. Marks Police Chief Marvin Furr said shots suddenly rang out in or near a large crowd that had gathered after the football game. One of the victims, the mayor's 33-year-old daughter, was shot in the arm. MPD said his niece was also shot, but no one was seriously injured. Investigators say it's unclear what led to the shooting, but the chief said it did not involve anyone from Quitman County. Furr believed it stemmed from a fight between people from surrounding areas. In Plainfield, Illinois, a Stranger Things themed Halloween display in front of a home is now closed after a neighbor voiced concerns about it. Paying tribute to the popular Netflix series, one family dreamed up the spooky seasonal setup displayed in their front yard. It replicates a scene from the show and features a lifelike mannequin dressed up as the character Max Mayfield appearing to hover in mid-air. If you haven't seen the video, I really say you should look it up. Anyway, the family said video of the display they posted not only got more than 14 million views, with everyone wondering what's keeping Max afloat, but also some unwanted attention from one neighbor who at first said they were okay with it when the family asked for permission before putting it up. The display remained shuttered for now. The family said they didn't mean to cause a fuss and were just looking to have fun. The world has lost a little bit of its twinkle this week as country music star Loretta Lynn died Tuesday. She was 90. No cause of death was given. She said, in quote, "I wasn't the first woman in country music. I was just the first one to stand up there and say what I thought, what life was about." She was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1988, and her song Coal Miner's Daughter was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 1998. She received a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2010, and in 2013 she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She made a huge impact on country music, and she will be missed. We'll be right back with sports and weather after these messages.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To start, Mr. Sippy will give you 1 month cooler rental and 2 bottles of water for free. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ed Simpson, Director of the School of Media and Communication at USM. I'd like for you to join me on Southern Miss Radio Friday afternoons at 12:30 for a new show, News You Need. On News You Need, I will be chatting with USM students about the news they are talking about and suggest a few stories we need to think about as a community and society. We'll look for connections between the headlines, how we live our lives, and have a bit of fun along the way. Join me for News You Need, Fridays at 12:30 on Southern Miss Radio. News You Need is sponsored by Adcock Pool, Spa, and Billiards.
Welcome back. In sports, freshman Olivia, I do not want to butcher her name, Warzenak, was named the Sunbelt Women's Cross Country Runner of the Week for the second time in a row this season. The league announced October 5th, which today, so that's awesome. The Poland native led the Southern Miss squad, placing 4th in the 5,000-meter run at the Chili Pepper Festival in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Friday. Warzenak posted a time of 16:34.8 for another school record and a personal best. Her finish helped the Golden Eagles place second overall out of 31 teams. Men's golf had another promising start at the Old Town Collegiate, holding second place into the final day, but the team dropped 5 places in the final standings. Senior Cameron Clark finished tied for 4th in the event. They will play October 10th and 11th when they travel to Oregon to play in the Oregon State Invitational. USM Volleyball will be on the road playing Louisiana Monroe Friday at 6 p.m. USM Football will be traveling to Troy, Alabama to play the Troy Trojans this Saturday at 6 p.m. Homecoming will take place October 15th with many festivities that we will talk about later on. In weather, from WDAM meteorologist Ryan Mahan, our afternoons have been getting steadily warmer, but we haven't seen as much of that in the morning. Today ended up being the warmest such mornings in several days, with the morning low in the low 60s, but another round of even cooler and drier air isn't that far away. Today will start cloudy, but see drier air move in throughout the day, leading to clear skies for the rest of the week. Today's high won't climb any on yesterday's, remaining near 83 to our morning cloud cover, limiting early warming. Since we'll see fewer of those going forward, the next 2 days will warm up to 88 degrees by Friday. That's when the cloud cover begins to thicken, again ahead of a front expected Saturday morning, which will bring significant cooling and drying into next week. That means highs as low as the upper 70s for Sunday with dew points in the 40s, but it won't take long to bounce back into the 80s as another front approaches. This one will arrive by next Thursday and brings us our first chance at rain in over a month by that point. So that's all I have. So Jackson, tell us, so how's your week been so far?
Not bad. Went to Southern Miss's practice this morning, so not a bad situation there. I do want to do a little bit of house cleaning. I got a pronunciation guide right here. It's Olivia Vovzuniak.
Oh, I was really wrong. I messed that up.
Yeah,
I'm so
I would
sorry,
not have
Olivia.
gotten that either. I may have even butchered that even with the pronunciation guide, but I came close. One thing I want to ask you, are you going to be attending USM's Got Talent?
Yes, I will. I will be in attendance if I can. We're going to hope for the best, but yes, I hope to attend. I love Kyra. I'm rooting for her.
I know our very own Whitney Howard is going to be involved in USM's Got Talent, but I too will be pulling for Kyra Lampley come USM Got Talent. But right now we're going to throw to our Mississippi Moments. We hear from Stone Barfield as he explains the concept of a stump speech. Let's have a listen.
This is Mississippi Moments on MPB, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. Before the days of televised debates, politicians relied on stump speeches to get their message to the voters. Stone Barfield of Hattiesburg explains.
I don't think television really had that kind of an impact back in those days. As I said, I thought it was a disaster, looking back on it. No, we had stump speaking. You had the old flatbed truck and the hillbilly band and the popcorn and the hot dogs and the apple bobbing and all this stuff going on at every little community and crossroad in this county every weekend. You'd make 5, 6, 7 rallies on a Saturday. They were just there. That was what it was. And there was crowds there. I mean, good crowds, huge crowds. Used to have McCarn, Brooklyn, Dixie, Petal, Eatonville, Glendale, Raw Springs. Well, just about anywhere you had a community. And that's what it was. Without that handshaking, without that door-to-door knocking on door, you just had to do that if you want to get elected.
To hear more, visit MississippiMoments.org or just like us on Facebook. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
Back here on Southern Miss Today, I'm Jackson Howell, and we thank MPB, as always, for providing their Mississippi Moments content to us each and every day and allowing us to use them, so we thank them a lot from there. We're about to take a quick commercial break, but I want to preview our guests. We're going to have David Walker with the Backdoor Coffee House at University Baptist Church. You're not going to want to miss this interview. Stay tuned. We'll be right back on Southern Miss Today.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To start, Mr. Sippy will give you 1 month cooler rental and 2 bottles of water for free. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Join Southern Miss Radio on Sunday mornings from 6 a.m. till noon for Sunday Brunch. You'll get jazz and swing music from artists as wide-ranging as Bix Beiderbecke to Brad Meldau. From Dippermouth himself to Esperanza Spalding. But relax, you don't need to know anything about the music to enjoy it. It's a great way to wake up on Sunday morning. Sunday Brunch from 6 a.m. until noon on Southern Miss Radio.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today. Back here, we would like to introduce our very special guest, Mr. David Walker, with the Backdoor Coffee House at University Baptist Church. David, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I have a little sad news for us, but I'll get into that in a minute. Yeah.
So first thing I want to ask you, you mentioned before we got rolling that you actually went to Southern Miss. So what was your favorite memory growing here?
Okay, well, after we parked the dinosaurs in the front, and made our way in with the cooling earth, this is so long ago. But actually, radio, television, film was my major. And I remember my first lab job. This is very different than now. You guys are so cool and professional. It's amazing. I mean, we're talking cans and strings in my day. But there was a period I was supposed to get to here, tear off what was on the teletype, and read. Well, I got close, and I got there, and when I realized I pulled it was election results. But there was no information other than just a name, a number, and a name. And I started reading this. And in the middle of it, I lost all sense of everything. I said, oh, y'all, I'm just so mixed up. And I did the one thing you never do, and that's just leave. Somehow I graduated. But, if that comes back, maybe they'll call me up, and sponge me from the rolls. But so don't tell anybody else.
Absolutely.
So there's a little hidden memory from my past.
So as a radio, television, and film major, what kind of career ventures did you get into? Did you get involved with that following graduation?
Well, actually, it's a funny thing, and I will say this for education. My life did not work with a neat plan. In fact, I would say I can only understand the road I've driven looking in the rearview mirror. I'm an alternative route kind of a person. I've always been drawn to the arts and never saw myself being a teacher, but I was a teacher for most of my career, and elementary school, middle grade and elementary school primarily, and did special projects. Worked with the Interaction Factory, hands-on learning center that I helped co-found and worked for years. A lot of strange career moves, but everything I learned in radio, television, film, at one point or another in my career has come in very handy. Working with kids, working with productions, you'd be amazed. I mean, nothing you learn that you go to the trouble to really learn is wasted. It's added value to you. whether it's art, whether it's music. I can't say math because I never got that, but
Me neither.
but everything else,
either.
yeah, But we respect that. We bow down to math. It does work.
yeah.
My car does function, so that's the thing. But this is not about me. I wanted to reintroduce the Backdoor Coffee House, which is a series that is held in the back of the church that I go to, which is about 2 or 3 blocks from here, University Baptist Church. Monthly is our plan, though some months we can't. First Fridays, almost always first Friday, except when it's not. It's a donation-only event. It's a gift of our church to the community. It's an arts event. It's not a religious event, and we don't take tithe or anything like that. We do take donations, but they go specifically to the coffee house, maintaining the things we need, pay the bills, the groceries, the coffee, help pay the artist, and we have some sponsors, which I would like to mention one or two on the air. A dear friend of mine, Dennis Baum, is a realtor here with the All-Star team, and he is one of our really, what should I say, strong supporters through the years. Montague, Pittman, and Varnado, Kerry Varnado of that firm is just Kerry is there when we need him, and always a friend of all the arts, I think, in town. K&D Sales, if you need an estate sale, K&D Sales is the way to go. Kay is a wonderful friend. And I wouldn't want to forget Moore's Bike Shop, which probably is one of the more familiar names to students. They've been involved with so many things, and they're in the arts too. So all of these are friends of ours. Hey, and if you are a sponsor looking for a great, deeply meaningful event, the Backdoor Coffee House is always open to talk to people about sponsorships. But like I say, if you come, and I tell students, I shouldn't say this over the radio, but I don't want you to feel like you've got to put something in the plate. I mean, let some of us old guys who have jobs do that. That's what we want you to be there and enjoy the show. And what is the show? Well, here's my bad news. Okay, bear with me. And actually, this is probably kind of good news for the USM's Got Talent tonight. Is that the show on Friday? Because we would have been this Friday. But I just got off the phone with our guest, artist who was coming this Friday. She's known as Yusa, Y-U-S-A, and you can all look her up, Google her. She's a Cuban singer-songwriter now living in the United States. In fact, she just took her citizenship oath, so she's, but she's just had a tragedy in her family. It's just an event that none of us can predict these things and make these things happen, and the last thing we want to do is make her feel anything but our love and support in a moment like this, because our coffee house is a little different. We're not a money-making coffee house. We are truly lovers of the arts, and we believe that when you bring in an artist and an audience in a room, you're bringing something to life that is the heart of the arts. More than, I love an album. I love a good show at a distance, TV, everything, radio, indispensable in my youth. But there is something special that happens, and we want the people who come to be in the best frame and spirit. So we're temporarily going to put Yusa off when we can work it out for her and the tour. But we are sad, but we're sadder for her. And she would want me to convey her feelings to anyone who would hope to come. She's a wonderful person. I really enjoy our conversation. And for all of you who love Spanish music and language, I know that's a disappointment, but come to the next show, and we will have her back. Gosh, I'm going 90 miles an hour. Jackson, you got to just jump in there if you need to stop me for something. I did want to say what the next show would be.
Yes, please.
Before I forget that. Okay. The next show will be November the 4th, the first Friday of November, and that will be Pierce Pettis, who, if you are a devotee of Americana, of forward folk, of Nashville music, plenty of people have covered his music. Garth Brooks, just lots of folks. I mean, everybody. That's the thing. Through the years, I've gotten to know the writers more, and there's something special. I mean, I love a song when someone that you know who has a great voice and has a big band plays, but there's something really important to when you're in a room and somebody, like your house, and someone says, now I'm going to sing this song that I wrote. It's like having the poet read his her poem, his poem. Hey, I'm very careful there because we got a lot of great lady talent. And that's the thing we really want with people. That's what we really enjoy the most. Pierce has been here on and off through the years. I met him through the chain of other artists, and that's been great. And we've had Grammy winners that come, singer-songwriters. I was telling you before the show, and you said you might want to mention that. So, Jackson, I'm mentioning this. We had a rock and roll Hall of Famer keyboard artist a few years ago that I would love to get back. Spooner Oldham, who is, I think, in the film about Muscle Shoals, Alabama, the documentary. Spooner is the one who helped them with the incidental music when they were doing it a year or two ago. And if you haven't seen that documentary, you ought to just check it out. It's really great. But he is known a lot for when Aretha Franklin first came there, and they were trying to get Aretha up, break her out more. She'd been doing records in Motown, but she hadn't quite hit that next level. And everybody knew she needed to, that she could. And when they were in the studio and they were having a terrible time, about ready to hang it up one day, Spooner goes, I got it. He starts working on an intro to this number, and that was the turn, and things lifted off. Well, everybody, he's been on, albums with the Rolling Stones, people like that for a million years. The Rolling Stones know Spooner Oldham. Yeah, they asked for him. He told me, in fact, the last time he with Keith Richards was recording in New York, and he was in New York visiting his daughter, and Keith found out he was in New York, called him up at his house and said, Spooner, I want you on the album. He said, well, I'm here for my daughter's birthday. And she said, Dad, it's Keith Richards. So, you get it. I forget which album that is, but if you go back, he's on there. But wonderful person. He even brought his wife over from Alabama. And she said, I bring her because she's my memory. And, and that's how it is in the room. People talk. They'll not just sing the song, they'll give you some context. They'll, and after the show or during the breaks, people will, all together. Am I at the end of this? I want to be careful.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
I do want to ask you, with all your experience, 32 years with the Backdoor Coffee House.
Years,
that's correct.
Yeah, crazy. I was 12 when I started.
So surely you've seen a lot of different faces. You just mentioned some of your favorites. What are some of your other favorite artists that you've seen?
Yeah, well, there are people that, like I say, the name won't necessarily take off with everybody, but people that they would know them. Kate Campbell is just, she was our first person we got when we started many years ago. Like, for a long time, we just existed with local talent, which is great, and we always want to have local talent. That's where talent comes from, local. But we needed to get something to kind of get us over the hump. And my buddy who was co-managing it, Paul Laughlin, dear friend of mine, still my co-conspirator here, said, we need somebody with a following. And I said, but don't they need money to eat and stuff? It's not like my friends. He said, yeah, but if you know somebody that knows somebody, there's always a way to do these things. So we took a quick poll. We got hold of Kate, and we worked it out. She was coming for a Roots show downtown in the Sanger as part of that, and we got her the night before, actually the night after, I think. And she was on the stage at the Sanger for like 20 or 30 minutes as part of the big show. And we had her for like 2 hours, and I would say a considerable discount. But we just, from that time on, Kate was like, she knew so-and-so, and they would connect. Tricia Walker is a Mississippi legend. If you don't know Tricia, she's won a Grammy as a songwriter. She goes back up. She actually worked at Delta State. I shouldn't be talking about a rival or whatever, but we're all friends in Mississippi, right? She's a Delta gal, and she goes back up to Nashville regularly to play at the Bluebird. They do Women in the Round, and has all kinds of friends, helped put together the Mississippi Grammy. Grammy Museum in Cleveland. So she'll be coming in February and bringing a protege, somebody that she really likes, that's kind of taken off a little bit. So she's excited about that. We have Kirsten. Oh, and in the December show, the featured band will be 9,000 Miles, which is Toby Barker's band. Mm-hmm. So, and we'll have some local folks probably doing some reading and whatnot. And I see that I have less than a minute now. So, oh my gosh, what do I need to say other than we'll be back?
Last thing I want to ask you. So it's obviously a coffee house. What's your go-to coffee? How do you take it?
Well, this is the thing that happened. Our coffee place that we did folded, so now we're looking for a new sponsor for that. So we have to just go out and buy it right now, which is kind of hard on us because we are gourmets. Mm-hmm. But we have free coffee, Cokes, treats for everybody, and we always have child care on site.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That was David Walker with the Backdoor Coffee House at University Baptist Church. David, thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And we'll be right back on Southern Miss Today right after this.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To start, Mr. Sippy will give you 1 month cooler rental and 2 bottles of water for free. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Yo, it's Smooth Ost
and Charlie from the 4th Street Sports Show.
And we are psyched for our second year covering Southern Miss Athletics, and we have some new faces joining too.
Join us every Monday at 5 p.m. to hear from myself and Smooth Ost, as well as Dima, Jackson, and Nathan.
88.5 is the place to be on Mondays at 5.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today. That was 4th Street Sports Show, and we're going to throw it to one of our very own, Charlie Luttrell, as he previews Southern Miss basketball's upcoming season on today's SM2 Wrap. Let's have a listen.
Southern Miss men's basketball is back in the Regreen Coliseum and ready to turn the page from one of the worst seasons in program history. The Golden Eagles finished last year with a 7-26 record and a 1-17 conference standing. The 14-game losing streak sits only behind the program's winless season in 1971. Head coach Jay Ladner is entering his 4th season as Southern Miss's coach with a 24-65 record and an understanding that there needs to be a turnaround.
Get the elephant in the room. It's time for us to win some ball games, okay? I want to make sure that everybody understands that we understand that. I understand that more than anybody. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be the coach here. Thankful for the vote of confidence in our administration, Dr. Bennett, and of course, Jeremy McLean. And I'm just excited about our upcoming season, and I realize that what's at stake.
And it will have to be a quick rebuild for Southern Miss, who are hit hard by the transfer portal this offseason, losing key players like Tyler Stevenson and Jerome Pierre. The Golden Eagles have reloaded their roster with 9 new players, including Austin Crowley, a transfer from Ole Miss, and a couple of players with Chilean connections. Ladner noted the challenge of reshaping the roster as his biggest concern heading into the season, but said that it has gone more smoothly than he thought as the team has built chemistry early on.
When this team leaves the Coliseum for practice, they stick together. You'll see them all out together. They're at restaurants, cafeteria, socializing, whatever it may be. They're always together, whereas is maybe last year we would have 3 or 4, 1 or 2, whatever. I was just never able to push the right buttons last year to get us on the same page.
Senior forward DeAndre Pickney said that he's focused on being more active of a leader as one of the few remaining members from last year's roster. He said that the team has been paying attention to detail on the court, but also noted the impact of the early chemistry the team has built.
Last year we had a lot of individuality, and I feel like we don't have that on this team. Everybody has their little bit of individuality, but for the most part, everybody's trying to be on the same page. We share the ball, we love each other, we hang out outside of basketball, we play video games with each other, and quite frankly, we didn't do none of that last year.
That chemistry may have come naturally, but Southern Miss will have to work on what they can do to improve their team. One of Ladner's priorities is to improve their perimeter shooting. He stated that the top 6 players by minutes in the 1, 2, and 3 positions all shot for under 35% last year. Shooting will be just one area of focus as Southern Miss works together in practice until their first game on November 7th against William Carey. This is Charlie Luttrell for 4th Street Sports. For more info on the basketball season, stay tuned to our coverage at the Student Prince and SMTV.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today, and unfortunately, that's all we have time for today, folks. I know, so sad. But on behalf of Devontae Anthony, Madison Warren, Kelsey Bolden, our special guest, David Walker, and then our executive producer and USM Got Talent participant, Whitney Howard, I'm Jackson Howell. This is all for Southern Miss Today. Stay golden, Eagles.
Southern Miss Today is your public affairs program, so use it. Be a guest on Southern Miss Today to spread the word about your civic events in the Pine Belt. Contact us at southernmisstoday@gmail.com. Make sure and listen to Southern Miss Today Monday through Thursday at noon on WUS.